Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's back. And he's back with a new computer. All new. Just got it yesterday. It's quite the upgrade. I haven't upgraded any of my parts at all. Um, for the last 7 years. So it's pretty high spec at this point, and I'm very excited to use it for this and other things. Um, welcome to Monster Hunter. My favorite game I played last year, even though it came out well before then, Monster Hunter Rise, and then specifically Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, is an expansion. And let's have this lady stop singing as we go to new game. Um, Sunbreak is the expansion. Look at this muscly man. Um, if we ever get to that, it'll be a long time. But right now we're starting off with a fresh save, obviously. I've played about 180 hours of this game. But we're going to start off new, and I'm going to bring you along on a journey of one of my favorite games / series. So I'm not entirely sure how long this first episode's going to be. It's going to mostly be intro and tutorial type stuff, and I might cut out some of it because if memory serves me correctly, there are a lot of kind of hurdles, little boring bits before you can get into the real stuff. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and take a quick peek at my character. Not a huge thing, because one of the things about Monster Hunter, if you've never played it, is, shocker, you hunt big old monsters. And you make gear out of their skin, both weapons and armor, and much of... I'm just going to pick this random guy. Much of the time, your friend is covered up with cool armor that you make from the boys. And they're all really unique looking sets, and they all have skills that you can craft your build around to go out and hunt bigger and more interesting monsters and stuff. And it's a really fun loop. It's kind of like a Dark Souls combat meets almost like a Diablo or like MMO almost loot progression. And it can be played either fully single player or multiplayer. The reason partly I'm recording this is because nobody plays Monster Hunter with me. And I'm so excited for the new one coming out next year, Monster Hunter Wilds, that I wanted to jump back in and play some and maybe take you along for the ride. So let's go ahead and get into this. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Again, let's not make him 65. Let's make him 30. That seems like a good age. Again, that doesn't really mean anything. Let's just do the basics. Let's get some hair going. What kind of hair do we want? Do we want weird hair? Or do we want normal hair? We're going to definitely have to... I might just go with black. I do like the long hair. Something like... side pony. I don't hate that. Kind of looks like a Qui-Gon vibe. Should I make Qui-Gon? Did Qui-Gon have red hair? Kind of. It was like reddy blonde, right? That's kind of Qui-Gon hair. How old was Qui-Gon? Now I gotta go back to age. Qui-Gon was probably like 34. I honestly just leave like everything else the same. I kind of like my Qui-Gon mythos. Let's change up the default clothing, something less skimpy. Can do the colors, which is kind of fun. Make them Qui-Gon colors, which is just brown. Some brown. Not change the blue, change all. I guess the blue is just going to be the blue. Sure. Again, we basically never see this, so let's just...
Good day.
Good day.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. Yo, yo, yo. Hey.
I think this is the voice I usually go with. That's a lot of settings. Wow. And let's go ahead and keep him the same. Let's just go ahead and name him Classic. Me name. Oh yeah, and in this game, you've always in Monster, or I'm not sure always, I guess I haven't played all of them. I haven't really played many of them. But in Monster Hunter World and Rise, you had a cat friend called a Palico, and in this one you have a Palamute, which is a dog friend here, that you ride around on, and it is very good. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this one either, just going to pick from one of the presets that I like. Either this one or this one. I kind of like this guy. And we will name our Palamute Mr. Dogs. And now Palico. Presets. Again. That's kind of a cutie. And we'll name the Palico. Meow. Meister. Meister, I-E or E-I? Meow. Meow. No, I'm not doing that. Cat. Burn. And let's do a fresh save here. We got Qui-Gon, Mr. Dogs, and Catburn, starting at Hunter rank 1 with $1,000 and 0 playtime, but we are about to change that. Cutscene. For the most part, the protagonist is just a silent, strong and silent type. The tweens.
Dear, looks like we've been caught in the act, Minoto.
Quite disappointing, Hinoa.
I really don't see how anyone could have noticed us.
It was a perfect display of stealth.
That's why we expect great things of you. You're always razor sharp.
Well then, I guess we still have a lot of training left to do.
All right, ladies.
What? You don't want us sneaking in?
That's pretty creepy.
Oh, come on. This is Kimura. We're all practically family here.
Besides, Elder Fugan is looking for you.
Fugan.
So go get ready. Can't keep him waiting.
What an intro. I'll be honest, Monster Hunter, always a story game. It's much more about the action and loot progression. I mean, even that starter set of armor, look at all the details there. So cool. Oh, the dragon.
Shall we go?
Shall we go? Y'all, stop doing that. It's creepy. So this is Kimura Village, the hub for Monster Hunter Rise. So nice. Weapon crafting. Eat some food to prep for your hunt. I don't know what this kid is. Shop. Calicos. And Elder Fugan. Fugan? Fugan. And a big fire for some reason. That guy's the smith. Oh, it's an owl. Yeet!
Fugan, we did like you asked.
I wonder if I want to turn off these subtitles.
Noah.
Let me know if you've got an opinion on that.
Thank you.
I love that I'm just Qui-Gon.
I just got an important letter. It looks like we've got a rampage on our hands.
So it's finally beginning.
It's been 50 years since the last calamity.
It picks up in
and
a
I
little bit.
remember like it was yesterday.
I do just kind of want you to have the whole experience.
A huge pack of monsters in a giant stampede.
I love this narrator, though.
They attack the village in a frenzied rage.
Showing caricatures of all the monsters. Not all the monsters, but
Close to wiping out our village last time.
I think it's time. We paid a visit to the stronghold. We have to protect the village.
There's nothing to worry about, Elder Fugan.
Stop talking at the same time.
All of us, everyone in Kamura, we've all been training for this moment for our entire lives.
Hinoa, we should start preparations right away.
Do you like the new options? Of up to 1440p resolution at 60 FPS? Ooh, that's good recording right there. Go
Now
check.
That's what I like to
Go check
hear.
that settings wheel if you haven't. It's like Final Fantasy. Y'all know that? Now, John Ruled, Rampage and all aside, I've got news for you. Got a message from the guild this morning that says you are now a certified hunter. You're really living now, Squirt. Well, I guess I shouldn't call you that now that you're certified, but I don't think that'll stop me.
Elder.
Sorry to interrupt, Elder Fugan.
Uh-huh.
I've informed the village of the coming rampage like you asked. Ah, yes. Nope. Oh, yes, thank you.
Congratulations.
By the way, John Ruled, I overheard the good news. You're finally an official hunter? Wow, congratulations. All you need to do now is register with the guild so you can start accepting all those quests. Choking? To do that, you need to speak with Master Hojo in the Gathering Hub. But that can wait. First, we go shopping. You'll be needing the help of other villagers if you want to succeed out in the field. So, follow me.
There.
Now, where should we start? Ah, of course, the Marketeer of Mystery, Kagero the Merchant. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Whee! Look at me, I'm here. And I can ride around my dog. And I can doggy drift. How do I doggy drift? Maybe I can't do it in... I'll have to show you doggy drifting out in the field, but... Hello!
Uh-huh.
It's been a long time since we went shopping together. Oh, whoops. Ah, the weather's so nice today. What? No, talk to him.
Have a look at my way.
Greetings, Master John Ruled. I was just informed that you have been accepted into the guild. Felicitations. Here you will find restorative cures and other such items to aid you on your hunts. I often diversify my stock and provide special offers for hunters too. I think you'll find them most agreeable. Kagero sometimes offers items at half price. That's when you can pick up some real bargains. I always hold off on buying what I want until the sale, and when it's on, I swoop in like a Raytheon on the trail. I have often sensed Lady Hinoa's sharp gaze upon my back. Now I know why. Anyway, Kagero, about those items I asked you to set aside for me. Of course, I'll have them packaged and sent to you at your convenience. Then that's a wrap. Let's see, where should we go next? Steadfast as steel, Master Hammond the blacksmith. It'd be nice to pay him a visit. Joking. So much joking. Hey, buddy. Gonna spend a lot of time with you. No, what is it? He kind of sounds exactly like the other guy. You can see I'm busy here preparing for the rampage. Now, Master Hammond, this time I've come to tell you the good news. John Ruled has been accepted into the Hunters Guild. The village now has a resident hunter we can all count on. Isn't that great? I see. Well then, John Ruled, allow me to congratulate you. The equipment we forge here is what makes a hunter in part, and can make or break a hunt. It's what represents our village to a hunter who can't wield Tatara steel, isn't fit to fly the banner of Kamura. You'll find whatever you need here. As for crafting and refining gear, well, we can talk about that later. Oh, since we're here, that reminds me. You can hire buddies at the Buddy Plaza up ahead, and Master Hammond's grandson, Iori, manages the place. Why don't you go talk to him later? Hippering around with feline9s and canines. Makes me wonder where I went wrong. Really? I think buddy handling is quite a noble profession, personally. Anyway, Master Hammond, I was wondering if my order was ready yet? It is. One of my apprentices will deliver it to you later.
Last but not least,
Okay, just one more stop and we're done. Let's see. Sweeter than sweet dango. It's gotta be Yomogi the chef's tea shop. T. Lots of tutorials. I don't know why it's talking about it now. Oh, John Rural. Hey, I heard the good news. You're certified hunter for the 100 now, recognized by the guild and everything. Congrats. Before you head out on a hunt, make sure you stop by and eat some bunny dango. You'll never taste anything yummier in your life, and they'll get your juices flowing for a hunt. Yomogi's bunny dango really are yummy. So yummy, in fact, I can't stop eating them on the job. Ooh, just thinking about them gets me all excited and... Yomogi, the usual. Please and thank you. Of course I know. One super duper mega dango order coming right up. John Rural, I had a great time on our shopping trip. Thanks for accompanying me. I had the things I ordered from Master Hammond and Kagero delivered to your item box. Surprise! It's just a little something for me to celebrate you becoming a hunter. Come back when you're done with your registration thingy, okay? Huh? What about the bunny dango? Sorry, those are all mine. I'd share, but a girl's gotta eat. Hey, you should equip a weapon already. I want to see what you look like in your full hunter getup.
what do you think?
Great idea. How about you try on that longsword I just got you? So cool! That gear really suits you, John Rural. No, wait. That gear really suits you, John Rural. You must feel a ton braver now, right? Ride that high over to the gathering hub and get yourself registered as a hunter. Once you talk to Master Hojo and get registered, you can start going out on real hunts as a real-life hunter of Komura. Exciting.
Visit the hub.
I have to wait here for my order, so off you go. I'll be in my usual spot. Come see me when you're done. So, I've got that longsword it just gave me, but... Oh, I can't go to the item box. I gotta talk to a lady. Never mind. I guess, no, not lady. Master Hojo. 1 second. There he is. He's on a little frog guy. I love the little frog guy. And there's another one of those guys. And there's a cat. More cats. So this one is obviously very Japanese styled. This was originally released on the Switch.
Mr. Hojo?
This guy. But ported to the PC, and it's a pretty good port, in my estimation. But Monster Hunter World was a, like, PS4, whatever, Xbox at that point, PC game, and that one was kind of more Western style. I'm not sure what Wilds is going to be like. It kind of seems more in the vein of Monster Hunter World. We've only seen one trailer for it, but... Well, hello there, John Rural. You sure took forever to get here. I thought I was going to croak. You are probably well aware that I, Hojo, am the guild master of this exceptional gathering hub. What's that? Your guild registration? Oh, yes. Well, I was getting to it before you interrupted me. Had you let me finish, I would have told you that we no longer do things that way. Get with it, young hunter, Joe. No test to take or papers to stamp, just my okay and you're on your way. With that, you are now officially a hunter, and not just any hunter, no, a hunter of Komura Village. Accept a quest for our dearest Minoto and go hunt some monsters. About that, as much as I'd like to, I have to get this report about the rampage ready for the guild. I'm terribly sorry, but could you talk to Hanoa first, so she can explain quests to you? Yo, Ace! I just overheard the gnarly news! Awesome! Before we run off to see Hanoa, pop over here for a sec. I gotta check you out in your new threads. Hey, buddy. Yo, over here.
I've been waiting for you.
Looking good, Ace. Congrats on becoming a hunter. All that hard work finally paid off. I'm really happy for you. Oh, and before I forget, I gotta tell you about the action bar. I don't care about that. This guy just wants me to take a picture of him, which is weird. But, yeah, no, I know. Activate picture. Take a picture of this guy. Let me... How do I zoom in? Oh, gosh. Fine, whatever. There you go. Something about the Buddy Plaza and the training thing. You can try your hand at all sorts of weapons and skills there. It's a great place to warm up before a big hunt. All right, I'll quit holding you up. Panoa's still waiting for you, isn't she? Yep. And, nope, can't do it yet. I was gonna say you can fast travel, so I was gonna just do that. Hey, listen! All right, Hanoa. Hanoa? Yes, I never know which one's which. Oh, John World, already completed your hunter registration? Great! I retrieved your Kahoot from Elder Fugan earlier. It's so cute, you're gonna love it. Kahoots, like buddies, will help you during quests, but in their own little way. It's my owl. Well, how about you give your feathery friend a name? Woot. Come on, buddy. You like barely ever use this thing. Round bird. Anyway, since my sister is swamped at the moment, I'll go ahead and give you the quest rundown instead. Now that you're a hunter, you'll be in charge of completing the quests that me and Minoto have in our quest lists. Some of these quests have been called key quests. Called key quests have been especially posted by the Hunters Guild. So if you make a point of completing key quests, the Hunters Guild will take note. Oh, one last thing. Here, take this petal ace Minoto and I made. As you may be aware, petal aces are protection charms woven from a local plant called a sending sprig. Pollen carried by spirit birds will enhance your petal ace, strengthening your abilities. Treat it with care. Oh, I think Minoto should be wrapping up her report right about now. And I need to get back to work myself, so once you're ready, you can start taking quests from either of us. Hold on! You can't go prancing off before my introduction. Oh, that's a different one. I was wondering why she did a cat pun.
Good. Hello, and congrats on becoming a hunter. If you ever find yourself taking a hub quest, then I, Henry the Mailman, have quite the pertinent info for you. You'll need to go through me to meet up with fellow hunters. Make sure to stop by.
Oh, nope. Well, I think that about wraps everything up. Time to start monster hunting. Hey-o! Okay, so now we should have fast travel unlocked and stuff. So what I was gonna say with this item box is exited the thing. There's all kinds of things you can do here. Eventually, you can change the color and kind of like do transmog on your armor. Wow, that's a really close-up thing. You can change your obviously weapons and armor here. You can change out like your support items and consumables. But here is my weapon and armor layout currently, all the stock stuff. But if you click into equipment, you have stock level 1 copies of all of these weapons. And that is the joy of Monster Hunter, is the weapons. Rather than a weapon being kind of like just like different stats or something, the weapons are really more like their own fighting game class. So it takes a long time to learn each weapon. They all have their own unique combos and like kind of mini things to micromanage with them. Not everyone has that. Some of them are more simple and straightforward. But half the fun of Monster Hunter is learning the weapons, getting better, knowing when you can use certain combos and like how to even pull them off. Managing like your micro resources and stuff, and with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 different weapons, there's definitely something for everyone. Primarily, Monster Hunter is a melee-focused game, big, hard-hitting, slow-moving, intentional melee. But there are the heavy bowgun bow and light bowgun that are ranged weapons as well, though you can't get too far away because another part of the fun of Monster Hunter is the constant danger you're in, because monsters hit hard, and they want to keep you up in the action. So those are the majority of the systems in the village here. This guy, I can just kind of skip through. Okay, he was maybe going to give me something sometime. But this is another secondary area. Where you manage your buddies, your Palamutes and Palicos. You can get new ones. There is some resource generation stuff here that you can get from that trader with the ship, and then that little boat takes you to the training area, which is a very helpful section of Monster Hunter, where you can practice with all of those weapons and kind of get a feel for them. I'm gonna skip this because it's really not as important as the other stuff. Practice with the weapons, kind of get a feel for them and understand which ones you might like, and try and understand some of those combos and such. One thing is, it kind of, this section lets you mess around with it, but it doesn't give you great guidance on the weapons. Like, it shows you some controls for them, but there's like so much more beyond what it shows on the screen. So I don't love that. Honestly, if you kind of get hooked on this game, probably YouTube videos are where it's at. So let's see, is the longsword first? Nope, don't sell items. Great sword is first. So I'm gonna just go down this list. This is gonna be a long video, isn't it? And just do a basic overview of the weapons, just so you can see kind of their gimmicks and what Monster Hunter has to offer. So this is just like a big training dummy that you can hit, and it shows damage numbers and stuff. So this is the great sword. Very, very, very slow weapon. As you can see, I'm basically crawling. Though if I can put it away, I can sprint and do some stuff there. Its main thing is that it has big old charged attacks. And really the only thing that people do with greatsword is this charged attack. And it's got 3 stages, and you can see I just shoulder charged, and that puts me into the next level of the stage. And the final stage is this true charge slash, where you do this double flip thing, and it does a ridiculous amount of damage. That's like the biggest single damage thing in the game, I believe. And that is really all greatsword is. Like, nobody uses like any of the other moves, and the greatsword really doesn't have a lot of moves. It has like the spinning slash. If you do, in this case, circle, though it says B, it's got a block theoretically, but it's a bad block, and it's not really used unless it's a very like kind of emergency thing. And then like the only other thing about greatsword is this shoulder charge that you can cancel into while charging. Gives you like super armor, so you can use it kind of like to counter monster attacks, as well as charging up to like the next level of your true charge slash, getting to like 3 stages. So that's very quick greatsword. Sword and shield is the jack of all trades weapon in Monster Hunter. It's pretty quick. You can see I'm moving much faster than the greatsword. It's got a block. It is probably comparable to the greatsword's block, maybe a little better, but it's not the strongest shield. It's pretty small, you can see. Really, it's more of a blunt force weapon, because there is like different damage types. There is like slashing damage that can like cut off parts and cut off tails and stuff. And then there's blunt damage, as well as maybe some others, but those are kind of the big ones with the big effects. I guess there's a lot of elemental damage too, but those are later. And blunt damage, if you do blunt damage on a monster's head, you can stack that enough and knock it out. So sword and shield, yeah, kind of can do a little bit of everything. It's got the blocking of some other weapons. It's got the blunt damage of like the hammer and stuff. And then it's just got some basic sword combos. But like the main thing it does is this backwards charge that you do like back and circle in this case, and you dodge backward, and you can either do what I've done here and release it and do like this charge slash, or you can do another thing, which, let's see, do I know how to do it? This is where some of that comes. Oh, this perfect rush, where it takes a really long time, but you can do like those 3 slashes, and then kind of vault into the air. And once you're in the air, you've got some different options there. But yeah, sword and shield is fairly beginner friendly, and it kind of gives you a taste of a lot of what the other weapons have to offer. Lance is pretty fun. I have played a little bit of Lance. I like the big shield weapons. I think blocking is nice to have. And the Lance, I believe, has the best shield in the game. It's pretty slow, maybe on the same speed as Greatsword, and it's also pretty straightforward. Really, the Lance comes in threes. There's a down or like a forward stab that you can go do up to 3 times there before like your combo resets and there's an animation, or you can do 3 and dash, do this little side dash, and that kind of resets your combo, and you can just keep stabbing after that. And then circle, in this case, again, different controls, but has an upward slash if a monster's head or something is above you, but it's kind of the same concept. And then, oh, that's a wire bug thing. RGB. There you go. Wire bug's a whole different thing just for Rise that I'm not going to get into right now, but it's also got a counter with right trigger and circle or B, that if you time it and the monster hits you during that animation, you do this big counter attack and it kind of charges up your Lance. And that's kind of the main thing with Lance. It's one of the easier weapons to understand and execute. And that leaves us on number 4 out of 14, so I might need to speed this up a little. Hammer. Very slow. Actually move around at a decent pace, but the swings itself are very slow, and this is the best blunt damage weapon in the game. Really, if you're playing Hammer, you're aiming for the head. And its whole thing is you can do charged attacks as well, kind of like the Greatsword, but you can move while you do it, unlike Greatsword, so it kind of helps with some positioning. And you can unleash it in a couple different ways. That spinning attack, and then I don't exactly know how to play Hammer. I think there's like an overhead attack that you can do, but we'll keep that one there. Switch Axe I've played a good amount of as well. I like the unique weapons. Don't worry about me Spider-Manning. Switch Axe, as the name would suggest, switches between an axe that you can do this fun infinite, as long as you have stamina anyway, little swing attack is one of the attacks, but also you can press right trigger and through various combos, and you switch into a sword. And if I charge this sword up, which might take a little bit, you can see there's this bar. It's filling up blue. I need to actually... It's got 2 types of charge. You kind of have to charge it to be able to use your sword mode at all, and then you can supercharge your sword, which I have done now, and you can do this super awesome mounted attack that then you like unleash a giant elemental burst on them. It's kind of like the big finisher for the Switch Axe. So you mainly do axe attacks to like power up your bar to be able to use your sword, and your sword you switch into is your main source of damage that you try to be in as often as you can. I really like the Switch Axe. I think it's a fun one. Insect Glaive. I have not done a lot of Insect Glaive, but its whole thing is you have a bug friend. Not that bug friend. He's on my arm currently. And if I remember the controls, you can mark monsters and send out your bug to that little mark, and it comes back, and you'll see up top I have a little buff, and you can get up to 3 of those targeting different parts of the monster. So I got the yellow buff there, which does something I don't really remember, and then I'm bringing back and getting a white buff, and I think if you target the head, yeah, that gives you the red buff. And the Insect Glaive, you really want to have all those buffs going as often as you can because it powers you up. But Insect Glaive is also cool in that it is an aerial weapon, and you can kind of chain these flips up and around monsters and try and stay in the air for like as long as possible. So it's a pretty showy weapon. I have not spent a lot of time with it, but if I was to use a new one, that could be a candidate, certainly. Heavy bowgun, kind of just a big old cannon. You can charge things, apparently. I have spent barely any time with any of the ranged weapons because it doesn't feel very Monster Hunter to me personally. You can also, somewhere, I forget if it's this way or this way, you see that there's like trank ammo and normal ammo. You can get different types that do different effects. And I think you have to be like within a certain range to be actually doing full damage with like all the ranged weapons. And I think like the reticle shows you that. Longsword that we just had is a pretty beginner-friendly weapon as well. It is all about two things. One is counter-attacking, which, let's see, this one, yeah. So maybe that, what's A? What is A in my controllers? I don't know. But like if you do these right, is it the right trigger attacks? No, you got to do normal attacks to build up the bar, kind of like the switch axe. And then if you fill up the bar, I think you can, yeah, use a bunch of those right trigger attacks. And now you'll see I got a glowing white sword, and you can stack that buff several times. I think it goes to white, yellow, and then red. And that just, you do more damage. The higher you get the charge on it. So it's about charging up your weapon, and then it's also about counter-attacking. You like sheath your weapon and are like in this counter stance and can kind of like time monster attacks to negate damage and deal damage to them, but I haven't played Longsword, so I don't exactly know how to do it. Dual blades are the ones that I spent the most time with in my solo, well, I guess not even solo, in my previous play. They are the fastest weapon, and their whole thing is they can be even faster with this demon mode. So you are lightning fast, faster than like any monster, which is a very, very big advantage in this game. And you do a bunch of extra damage when you're in this mode, and honestly, I think this is the most beginner-friendly weapon because you can just spam buttons, and you're all good. And then once you charge your weapon, like unlike some of the others, you can double tap triangle and circle and do this big old blade dance. And also, it kind of changes some of what you can do when you're not in demon mode, because demon mode drains your stamina constantly, so that's kind of the downside of it. But I really love the dual blades. They are fun. Gun Lance is Lance with a gun. I have not played much Gun Lance, but I think it's a pretty similar story. Let's see if it's got the... Yeah, it's got the triple stabs, but it does not have the upper stab. That's where the gun comes into play, but apparently you can charge your gun to do some big ol' things. Let's see. This. Okay. So yeah, if you want to combo like some explosions into a lance, there's some ammo management in that one, but it also has a really good shield. Gun lance is a thing. Hunting horn is a really good multi-purpose weapon. It is a buff weapon that uses music. And you can see I've got notes here corresponding to different buttons. And if I play these songs and get them in the right order, let's see, let's just do a YY. You can see I have glowing notes up there, and then I can press R2 and play a little song and get a buff. So I've done self-improvement, which I think makes me a little faster and maybe gives me a little bit more defense. So some people call it a support weapon, but it's honestly excellent overall. And like you can heal yourself, which is kind of unheard of, and you can do like if you get like I think 3 distinct songs, which I kind of currently have right now, you can do right trigger and the top button, and do Magnificent Trio, this big finisher, and you get some buffs. I think it triggers like all of your buffs at the same time. I really like Hunting Horn. I think it's cool. Charge Blade is theoretically one of the most complicated weapons, at least to execute. It's got some iframe things that are hard to trigger, invincibility frames, but essentially it's kind of like the Switch Axe in that you build up power, in this case, in files that are up there. So now have my files charged red, and I can store those into my shield, and I can spend those files here to power up my shield. You can now see that it's glowing and the icon's glowing. And once that shield is powered up, I can do the same kind of thing and charge up my sword as well. And now I have an improved shield for blocking and an elementally powered sword. And then it also, beyond all that, once you have both of those charged, and even beforehand, but generally you like to charge both of those first, you can change it into this axe mode. And you can do a few different things with this, including if you've got full files like I do now, the right button or circle discharges that elemental energy, and you can do this big finisher. So Charge Blade is very fun. I like kind of like the multi-purpose weapons personally. Light bow gun and bow. Light bow gun, as you would expect, is a little bit faster than the heavy bow gun. You can lay mines with it. I don't know how to... Maybe you shoot them? Is that it? Did that do something? No, I don't know how you trigger them or if the monster just has to walk over them, but that's something that the light bow gun has. Apparently it's got a melee. I don't know if anybody ever uses those. It's also got ammo. Again, I don't know a ton about the ranged weapons, which is great because we'll move back into bow. The last weapon, which I guess I know the most about, rather than ammo specifically, the bow has coatings. Let's see. How do you change coatings? I guess it's L1 and then... Normally you don't have all of these coatings, but it varies bow by bow, but since it's in the training area, I've got all of them. And you can do a charged shot up to like 2 levels of charge there, 1, 2, and do like a double strike, or you can just pepper them. And then there's also this dragon piercer that's this big, almost like charged ballista thing. And like, you're pretty mobile with the bow. You can see I'm kind of sidestepping a lot here. It does take stamina. I've played a little bit more bow than the other ones. So there's that. All of the weapons, stop it, put it away, please, in hopefully a reasonably short amount of time. So that begs the question, John, which one are you going to play with? And you can probably guess a little bit from my knowledge levels, which ones I spent a little bit more time getting to know. And in this case, I'm going to be using the Charge Blade. I am still new to it, but I have practiced a little just to be able to speak on it. And I just think it's a fun weapon. It gives you some mobility. It gives you the blocking, which is better blocking than the regular sword and shield. It gives you the versatility of having 2 weapon forms. It's got this slide that keeps you pretty mobile here. So that's what I'm going to go with. I don't think I'm necessarily exclusively going to play Charge Blade, just because I might want to switch it up, or I might want to show you something different every now and again, but that is essentially going to be my main weapon for this playthrough. So there you go. And now we can, instead of going through both of those areas, we can just fast travel back to the main hub. as it were. And I think that's where we're going to end this very initial intro without even getting into any of the hunts or anything. Just because I think probably been a little bit long even as of now. So thanks for sticking with me through that little bit of tutorial intro stuff. Next time we probably we'll get into some of the mission gameplay. I don't know if we'll actually go on a real hunt. There's some more tutorial logistics to get through, but we'll see. We might be able to squeeze one in there depending on how fast I can power through it. But you'll definitely get more of a sense of like the zones and stuff in the next one, and I can begin to break out my charge blade and start hunting some monsters theoretically, or at least moving that way. So we're back. New PC, new game, new HD quality. I'm excited. And if anybody ever wants to play Monster Hunter, I'm so down. Either this or World, anytime. Okay. And remember, we back.